Welcome to another episode of Dalas Kitchen. This is your host, Chef Abdallah, kama kawaida. Thanks for your feedback, by the way. Nimeulizwa katika show, Abdallah, when are we having fish? You know, so I'm going to create a dish, a fantastic dish today.
On today's menu, pan-fried snapper, warm vegetable salsa, and fresh market produce.
When you look at all these bold colors and the fish is already filleted, it's a white snapper actually. You know, you can get a red snapper and a white snapper. Today we're using a white snapper. And when you go to buy your white snapper, let me tell you something. Try to ask them to try and debone it. But on your part also, try to keep the bones because you can make a stock with the bones as opposed to just throwing them away. You can make stock. From that stock you can make soup or you can make a sauce or anything of the sort. So what do we have today? I've got my beautiful white snapper apple, and then I've got, look at these chopped red onions. I've got red peppers. People call them hoho, but I don't know why you call them hoho, because where I come from, Mombasa, hoho are the very small tiny chilies that when you eat them they are so hot that when you eat them you go that's why we started calling them pili hoho. That was the hoho. Actually the word Swahili hoho was because of the small chilies, but suddenly nilipokuja bara huku I was told that these was bell peppers, mijipilipili tunayaita Kiswahili, but since you call them hoho, I'll walk away with that one and I'll follow you, no problem. Well, anyway, I've got them finely chopped. I've got my beautiful cherry tomatoes there in season, beets. I've got Kenyan beans. Please stop calling them French beans. And then I've got my Brussels sprouts. By the way, all these items are grown in Kenya. It's about time we started supporting our farmers. Our farmers are really hurting because of the circumstances right now. So we really need to support them. That's why most of my dishes nowadays are vegetables with a protein, so that I can highlight how you can use vegetables. And when you have plenty of vegetables, one, you get all the vitamins, you know, it's healthy eating, especially when you're working from home. You know, you don't need to eat something heavy and then you put on weights. I've started losing weight, by the way, since we started working from home. But anyway, long story short, it's time to cook. So what do we do first? First and foremost is, let me put my spoon there for the butter. First and foremost is just to show you, talk something about fish. Now, a good fish is supposed to be not smelly. If you go and buy fish and it smells fishy, that's not good. It's not fresh. So a nice fresh fish is not supposed to have that smelly fishy smell. The moment you start getting that odor, then it means that it's not fresh. However, next time when you go to the fish market, try to smell. That's one. Two, you make sure that it's firm. The skin is firm. If it's not firm, that's also another way of knowing that that fish is not smelled. And then, of course, when you go there, also ask them to scale them, because that's another hard task, especially when you're at home, when you're trying to scale the fish. So this fish, you can say that it's fresh, it's moist. Actually, it's not so. I don't even smell anything, okay? And it's a really nice fillet. This could be for one person. So what we're going to do first and foremost is to season our fish so lightly, because I'm going to use, you know, black pepper kidogo hapo on that side, a little bit of salt, just lightly, okay, on the skin, and then lemon. I could use lemon right now, but I would prefer to use it at the last minute because I don't want it to get sticky. I don't want my fish to get so sticky. So switch on your pan, make sure that it's hot. If you don't have a hot pan, most probably you are going to have your fish sticking, and you want it to be crispy on the outside. So just make sure that your pan is hot, weka mafuta kidogo, and then not too much fat. Okay, now so that the fat is also naisikia kidogo. Let's see, what can we do to taste if the pan is hot? You see, that tells you it's hot. So tunaanza, you start with the skin first, and try to hold it, because if you don't hold it, what's going to happen is it tends to fold. So you always make sure that you hold it. And you want to get something that is crispy. Okay. Let it cook just a touch. Okay. If you have fish that is a little bit wet, what you can do is you can flour it a little bit. You can flour the fish so that it doesn't stick. Ukiwa unaogopa. But I have a nice one, so I will also add a touch of butter onto it now, so that it starts cooking with the butter. You get the flavors of the butter onto it. Let's reduce the heat because you know fish cooks very, very fast, so you don't want to overcook it at the end of the day. Let me see how it looks like on one side. Wow, it's got a nice golden color. Okay. Now, when I'm doing this, what the next thing I can do is, I don't like creating too many, I don't want to do too many sauces. So what I do is I want to do something just with lemon. You know, fish and lemon. I remember when I was growing up, I used to go to the fish market. And one of the things that we used to do was we would ask the fishermen to give us fish. And they said, okay, if you want us to give you fish, then what you do is clean my boat. So we'd wait for the fishermen. They'd arrive there in Mombasa, old fish market in Old Town, huko Kibokoni. And the moment they arrived, wanatupatia samaki. And all we did was we just used to clean their boats. And all we could afford at that particular time was lemon and salt. And it turned out to be, I'm trying to add a little bit more of some red paprika plus thyme inside it there, just to crust it. Okay. Yeah, so I was telling you about these farmers, and they just give us the fish after we've cleaned their boats. And since we didn't have vegetables or anything of the sort, and we never even thought about it, see, again, nice brown. Okay. We'll just use lemon, salt, pepper, a touch of chili, na mambo poa. And very, very tasty. So at home, when you don't have to eat fish with heavy sauces, cream. You can add cream sauces, and you can add so many other things. But all you need to do is just make it simple. Simple kidogo. So our fish is ready. I don't want to cook it all the way down because I'll cook it again just before we finish. So I'm going to take this fish and keep it on the side. So I remove it, just leave it on the pan, pikika kidogo, but keep it on the side. Now, let's talk about our vegetables. When you have all these kinds of vegetables, you really don't want to do anything else about it, because when you start having starch, which you can if you're very, very hungry, or if you want to have your dish, say sort of heavy dish or something of the sort, if it's the only dish of the day. But if you've already had breakfast and you want to have something light, what you can do is just have an assortment of vegetables, na mambo itakuwa poa kabisa. So what I've done is most of these vegetables are already blanched. So they don't have a lot of work to do. All I need to do is to toast them in butter, in lemon. As I said, that I'm trying to make this dish a little bit healthier, colorful, and light to it. So all I'm going to do with these vegetables is just maybe slice the beets. Tomatoes, last minute, you still want them crunchy. You want to have them on your plate so that when you open, all the juice comes in. Na kazi itakuwa imemalizika. So our fish, let it rest there. What we'll do is we'll go on a commercial break. When we come back, we will finish the plate and I'll show you. This plate is going to be so colorful, light, and easy to make. Like I said, vegetables and fish go very, very well. Sawa, twende break. Tutarudi saa hii tu.